Hello everyone, welcome to this video where I am going to explore your subconscious mind so that you can discover what it means to dream of making love. That state of absolute intimacy in which you give yourself totally to another person, but that actually talks about your true desire, the fact that you would like for once in your life to show yourself as you really are, because that is what you cannot do in your everyday life. That's what we are going to be talking about here. But before going into the analysis, in case you don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Robert. I am a psychoanalyst with more than 30 years of experience. And in case you want to have a psychoanalysis session with me, or in case you want the psychoanalysis of one of your dreams, just send me an email to the one that I am going to leave you here below in the description of this video, so I can tell you how you can join my consultation. Now, back to what it means to dream of making love. This is a very important dream because from the outset, it is revealing that you are going through a phase of your life where you feel that to survive in the environment in which you develop, you must necessarily hide who you really are. And this in turn has caused you to enter a state of apathy from which you are having a hard time getting out. Something that arises from the fact that you feel that you cannot enjoy yourself because no one seems to enjoy your true state of self. And that is what causes you the most frustration because, on the one hand, what you most want is to show yourself as you are, but on the other, you fear the reactions that this could generate among the people with whom you relate. What clearly suggests that your greatest unconscious desire, the one you are repressing at this moment, is precisely the power to define who you are, in order to accept once and for all that your individual personality is something beautiful because it is something that neither you nor yourself believe at this moment. Due to some experience that you had in your childhood, you grew up thinking that to show yourself as you really are, in other words, with that state of your personality that suited you the most, it was a bad thing because your true self was not someone worth loving. And that core of your psyche is the one that is generating all your insecurity processes at this moment. That is why you have this dream of making love. In fact, the question they always ask me is, why do I see myself making love to person X? It could be a friend or someone you know from work. Well, this happens because that person somehow represents what you want. It is likely that this person has a genuine personality, which is exactly what attracts you to him or her. True, there might be the component of erotic desire. That is up to you to define. But psychoanalytically speaking, what I can tell you is that the person you see in this type of dream is in direct relation to what you want, which is to have a personality that does not hide, because it is you who at this moment is hiding your true identity, which is precisely the one that is struggling to get out, but which in turn is being repressed by your conscious self because for many years you were educated to think that your real personality was something that others did not value. That is why when you dream of making love with someone, you see yourself sharing an intimate moment in which you enjoy to surrender, but also the possession of another. But what is the context of all this? Well, you see yourself letting another person access the innermost part of your being and feeling pleasure for it, while you feel pleasure to see another person who is also showing his own intimacy, precisely what you feel you don't have at this moment of your life, which is being expressed in this dream as a symptom of the fact that you would precisely like to meet the people who were more genuine, who would enjoy showing themselves as they are, because it is something that you also want to do. You want to return to your roots, to return to that moment in your life in which you met your true self, which you had to repress because they made you believe that that person was never going to be valued by others. And that is what is generating all your insecurity processes. It is very likely that in the days before this dream, you experienced a situation in which you showed yourself to someone just as you were. It must have been a reflex action. And this caused that person or the people in front of whom you did it, they were surprised because it was the first time they saw you as that person that you had hidden for many years. Now, this obviously happened because you were probably in the company of people who in turn also enjoyed being genuine. But it also resulted in your conscious self immediately repressing that personality. Because in your past, you were surely criticized for being who you were. This happens a lot in work environments where you are forced to hide your true self so as not to conflict with your work colleagues, in particular with your bosses. But the problem is that if this dream occurs in your psyche, this is a symptom that is revealing that you are experiencing this process of frustration in every aspect of your life. In other words, in all the environments in which you operate, you usually hide your true self. It is likely you have to be in disguise every day of your life. What if you notice is too heavy a load to overcarry? No one can live with a borrowed personality all the time. One that does not suit you. But you are that kind of person. Now, this is not your fault. All of this stems from your childhood experiences. We all grow up in different environments, and for the same reason, we repress these forces in our unconscious as an adaptive mechanism in order to survive in the environments in which we develop. The problem is that when we reach our adulthood, we do it with a part of our psychic organ that has not developed, which is precisely what we seek to do through a psychoanalytic process. That you can enjoy being who you really are without feeling guilt and remorse for it. Because it is a psychic force that we have freed from the emotional node in which it was, and that in turn we have managed to redirect it so that it occupies its rightful place in your state of adult self, if we used the terminology of transactional psychology. Well, in your case, all this happened because you grew up in an environment where your parents or siblings or relatives or even at school forced you to hide who you were. You were born with a nature that was very much your own, but that you have to hide in order to survive. You are the type of person who is born into an environment that does not suit you. There are people who are lucky enough to be born in the right family for them. But there are others, as is your case, who due to life circumstances were born in family environments that did not fit their personality. I don't know, maybe you liked art and grew up in a family environment that disdained all those expressions. Well, whatever your taste, it was going to conflict with the family you were born into. And this becomes much more complex when it seems that your own siblings adapt to your family very easily. Then you experienced this at school, where obviously you weren't going to feel comfortable because your parents weren't going to put you in a school that would accommodate your needs, but theirs. And this was what over the years made you repress your true personality. It was a survival mechanism. But the problem is that now that you are an adult and that in a way you can protect yourself, your true personality is beginning to emerge, and with it, all the desires that you repressed for so long, all of which is conflicting, colliding with your state of conscious self that does everything possible to prevent that personality from arising, which was so vilified in your childhood and which caused you so much suffering when you showed it. But it is not that your state of the conscious self does it out of evil or because you have a problem, but that it's simply acting in the way it was brought up, the way in which it allowed you to survive in the environment in which you interacted. And those are psychic energies that now have to be redirected so that you can live in freedom. As you can see, this is a much more complex dream than it might seem, so you have to pay close attention in case you see yourself making love in a dream. For the same reason, you already know that if you want me to psychoanalyze some of your dreams or have therapy sessions with me, just send me an email to the one that I leave you below so that I can tell you the way in which you can integrate to my consultation. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video if it helped you in any way, and share it so that others can access to this kind of knowledge. Have a wonderful day, and with it, the most beautiful dreams. Bye!